This is a World War I German Albatros fighter. It's got a streamlined wood fuselage, and it was a classic airplane in World War I. A friend of mine, Peter Jackson, who's actually a famous film director, did King Kong, Lord of the Rings. He has a mutual fascination, as well as I do, with World War I aircraft. He started a group of his guys down there actually building and reproducing some of these World War I airplanes. And this is one of them that they had done several years ago. They've tooled up to do a number of them because of the tooling costs. And I had something he was very interested in trading, and we came up with a deal, and I ended up with this airplane as part of the deal. They had borrowed a Mercedes engine, a 6-cylinder original Mercedes engine that was used in this airplane. They were trying to find out how they could build them. In the process, they overhauled my engine, they installed it in this airplane, and this thing it's beyond just being an airplane. This thing is a piece of art. We're going to start the engine here. It's got a really interesting starting procedure. We're going to squirt it. There's 6 cylinders. There's 6 individual priming caps. We open those. We squirt some raw fuel into the cylinders. We close it. Do all 6 cylinders that way. Turn it through a couple of times to make sure that the plugs get wet with the fuel that we put in there. And then hopefully what will happen is this airplane actually, you can start it sometimes without somebody actually propping it. There's a booster mag inside the cockpit that I can spin up, and it'll start sparking the spark plugs. And if one of them fires and makes an explosion, generally the engine will start running. So we'll try that. If not, we'll have to hand prop it. So let's see if it'll start.
Be careful, Kermit.
Yeah.
Come on, Kermit. Go, Kermit. Woohoo!
I got it. Thank you. Fuel's in, decompressor is decompressing.
Just like mine.
Okay, what do you think?
Okay, just put it where it normally goes. I'll see if it'll light.
Couple of
Are you out of the way?
I'm out of the way. You're good to go.
Okay, here we go. See if it'll start.
Oh, are they?
Nope. Try another. It's off.
Okay, switches are off.
Says off.
Okay, you want to try that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm clear.
It's off. Here we go. Okay, nothing. It's off. Let's try that.
All right, I'm clear.
Here we go. All right, let's just prop it.
All right.
It's hot.
Come on, do it again.
Okay, we try to get still hot.
Seemed to run good, cooled. I didn't see any leaks. Didn't get any steam into my face.
Can I keep my job?
Yeah, it seemed to run good.
What temperature? Just normal?
Yeah, it was running cool. You know, I've shut it there for a while when I was cruising around.
No idea.
Yeah, good. Well, you know, just check the levels and. All right.
Yes.
Maybe a second.
Yeah, good. Yeah. There we go. Good buzz. Yeah. So anyway, so it seemed to run pretty good. Might be a little bit rich, Andy. I don't know where Andy went, but a little bit of black smoke coming out of there. But the coolant seemed to run good. I didn't see any water and stuff dripping on my feet, so that was good. In my face. But y'all saw, you know, when I was taxiing, I got to gingerly go because remember I don't have any brakes, and the wind was blowing, you know, a little bit going down the runway there. So when I get going downwind, you know, the airplane wants to, you know, swing one way or the other. So I got to go really, really slow, and then generally what I'll do is I taxi down. I got on this side of the runway, and once I get started, I got to kind of commit myself, because the wind will help me, you know, turn me into the wind, kind of like a weather vane. So basically, I've learned to do that over the years. And at some point, you know, you got to justify what you're going to do, because if you taxi too fast and you start to turn, the airplane goes so wide, this thing would just go off the side of the runway. So I've got to really, really make sure. And if I think it's going to be a problem, then what we'll do is we'll get some wing walkers. Actually have one guy on each side, you know, walking me along, and if I have to turn around, one of them may have to pull back on the wing. If you get into a tight situation, sometimes that has to happen. But doesn't that sound great? We have if you look on some of the back of our shirts here, you know, the world's greatest aircraft collection is part of what we're here for, and our little tagline on the bottom is rebuilding and reliving the passion of the past. So I think we just demonstrated that today. So anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
So
yes.
This plane actually saw combat?
Oh, no. There's only a couple of original Albatrosses left. They're all in national museums. This airplane was scratch built, although there are components of this, like the engine, that are from World War I. But the whole airframe itself and all the fabric and the wood and everything, that's all brand new. Yeah. Yes, sir.
As you were taxiing, you made some of us nervous because it looked like you were going to stall. Was that intentional with the engine, with the RPMs? It just looked like it was ready to stall? Or?
Well, it was, like I said, it seems like it's running a little rich. It was putting out some black smoke. Once I started flying, I think it was normal. There's something else on there that the pilot has to be able to slow the airplane down with the engine, because if you can't get the RPM low enough, it'll keep rolling. And especially if you taxi downwind with a big wind behind you, the wind will push you. And, you know, so if the idle's not set low enough, you can't even turn back around into the wind. I've done that with some tail skid airplanes. And it's not very comfortable, because you're always, you know, wondering, and you'll hear me kind of run the engine up a little bit. It's because I want to make sure I'm always wiggling the rudder to make sure I've still got some semblance of control. I always want to make sure that I can move the airplane if I need to, because when I start inching over to the side of the runway before I swing it around, I'm trying to get as far over as I can so I don't go off that side, but at the same time I'm trying to gingerly get close so I don't go off that side. So anyway, it's you know, it's a bit of a knack. And this airplane, if you look at the skid back there, it doesn't have the little steering thing like I said that I had on the Fokker triplane. This is the way it actually was. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
How was your speed compared to the airplane's combat speed today?
That was kind of the RPM red line on the engine is 1400, and I was pretty much cruising around most of the time 1250, you know, something around there. You know, if I go full throttle, it'll probably, if I kept it there long enough, it would probably just get up to maybe go over the red line a little bit. In fact, I know it'll go over the red line because the original airplane that they built in New Zealand was 180 horsepower. This is 200 horsepower, and they made the same propeller for this one. So this one has a tendency to overspeed. I really need to get a little bit coarser pitch prop for this airplane to absorb the extra 20 horsepower. Yeah. Okay, yes sir.
How much does this one plane weigh?
I think the all-up weight, 620 kilograms, so that would be
1,200.
Yeah, 1,200, 1,300, probably about 1,400 pounds.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all welcome to come on out, walk around. Just be careful, you know, try not to touch anything. The fabric's sensitive, and you know, look at those little nails in the fuselage too. They're hand cut nails, and then they kind of smash the ends before they put them in. So come on out and check it out. Thanks.
Really
Are those nails clinched over on the inside somewhere?
Say again?
Are they clinched over on the inside?
Oh, the nails?
Yeah.
No,
they're
no,
just
no.
driven straight in.
Yeah, the nails are only to hold it while the glue dries. You could actually take the nails out and it wouldn't be a problem. You can kind of see every one of them has an irregular head. They just basically cut the nails and they just kind of pound the end to give it a little bit of a head. And but you know, if you had to, you could take the nails out. It's just the glue is what holds it together. Beautiful.
They look like nails that I've finished pounding into the wall.
Yeah, there you go.
They
All
start with a piece
smashed
of wire.
heads, you know.
Yeah, that's what they basically do. They start with a piece of wire and they, you know, cut each end off. But just the workmanship on this thing is just, like I said, to me this is a piece of art.
What's big dial in the center?
That is the tachometer, and that's pretty much what I watch most of the time. I don't really,
most important.
Yeah, I don't really care about the airspeed, you know, because I just feel the wind going by. And you can feel the controls. It was a little bumpy today, so I tended to keep my speed up a little bit, a little more. And because it was bumpy, I wasn't really making tight turns like I would if it was much smoother air. Because every once in a while, you know, I've got the stick hits my legs in the cockpit. And every once in a while, you know, if I'm in a turn and the wing drops, the wing doesn't come up that quickly when I put the aileron in, you know. So anyway, so just to be on the safe side, you know, I just kept it shallow and took my time.
How stable is it compared to sort of a modern day aircraft?
Well, things like the triplane's horrible compared to a modern day airplane. If you put a modern pilot in that airplane, it'd scare the crap out of them. I mean, it's scary to fly because it just it's not happy in the center. It's very pitch sensitive. You know, the ailerons work pretty well, but it's like instead of you controlling the airplane, you kind of feel like you're along for the ride, and you're kind of just generally directing it in a certain direction. You know, it's. But this airplane flies pretty good, but they all fly great when it's smooth, you know, but when it gets bumpy, sometimes they get a little bit uncomfortable. Yes, sir.
Excuse me, you probably answered this already, we just walked up. That green thing on top in front of the radiator, what is that?
That's the fill and the overflow.
Okay.
So it has a neck there, and so if it overflows, it actually blows out the front there.
Okay.
Yeah, so it kind of pressurizes a little bit with that little cup right there. But if for some reason it got really hot and it expanded, it would just vent out. And the original radiators were in the middle of the wing until they started getting the pilots in the face with the steam. So then they moved it to the side. Yeah, yeah, we learn as we go.
Experimental category or?
Yeah, experimental exhibition, I think. Yeah, because it doesn't really leave home here. We don't even have any end numbers on it.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, the FAA, if I buzz somebody and I do something illegal, they go to, which Albatros was that? Yeah. Okay, it wasn't me, it was some other Albatros, you know what I'm saying? It was Lakeland.